operations manager of the Wag Pack, a local dog walking and pet sitting company in Northern Virginia. Every week we do a blog post about something pet related that we've experienced or we've read about or that we're dealing with. And this week we decided to make a video blog about something that I've been really struggling with this week with one of my cats named Simon. And that is feline asthma. It's something that affects a lot of cats and not something you would actually think about when you think about cats. I know the first time he showed signs of it, it blew my mind that cats could have asthma, and I'm not sure why, but it was just kind of odd to be like, oh, that's something that could happen. He first showed signs of it. We found him in a parking lot in 2013, and shortly after bringing him home, a couple days, he would have these breathing attacks where he'd get really low to the ground and he would just cough and hack, and we weren't sure what's going on. I think at one point I thought he was choking. It could also kind of sound like they're trying to cough up a hairball, but it was actually him having an asthma attack. We took him into the vet, they gave him oxygen, x-rayed his lungs, and it turned out that he actually had lungworms, a parasite. We were able to clear it up. We used a combination of a steroid inhaler and a rescue inhaler. We tried prednisone, a oral steroid, and he acted very strange on it and was not himself, so we decided to stick with the inhalers. He was also dewormed. So it ended up going really well. He recovered, and we never really saw another situation of it. Maybe sometimes with bad allergies, he'll get a little coughy, but nothing insane. This week, though, he started coughing very, very, very bad. We actually have a video of it. It's kind of upsetting. It almost sounds like he's going to vomit at the end. He doesn't. But it was right after we'd gone to the vet and he'd gotten medical care, gotten x-rays, done blood work. So he was taken care of. But I'll go ahead and I'll play that video for you now just so you can see what it looks like. Simon, buddy. You gonna vomit? You're okay. Sad, huh? Yeah, I felt really bad for him in that moment, and that's when I knew that he was really, really ill. The thing with cats is they hide things a lot of the time. They don't let us know how sick they are until they're really, really sick. I was very concerned because they were actually worried that it was heart disease, giving him that side effect of having problems with his lungs. They gave him a antibiotic, a shot of it, just in case to prevent pneumonia, and they did blood work, and they x-rayed his lungs, and they were very, very bad. So what they ended up setting us up with was new prescriptions for his inhalers, which we had done a couple years before, but they were all expired. So we had got our new prescription for Flovent, which is the fluticasone. I'm never sure of how to say it, and the albuterol. So the fluticasone is actually what he gets twice a day, and that's what's kind of helping his lungs recover from the state that they are in currently. The albuterol is a rescue inhaler. So if he's in the middle of an asthma attack, this is what we take to him and give him so that his airways can open up again and he will no longer be in kind of a state of emergency. How we give it to him. Now this is pretty cat specific. But they also have it for babies when babies have breathing problems, so not something crazy new. But we have something that's called the AeroKat, and it looks like this. This is the face part where you put over his nose and his mouth, and this is where you put the inhaler. It's a chamber, and there's also a little flag on the side that goes like this, depending on how many breaths they take. You really want them to take at least 10 breaths of the inhalant, so you want to count 10 times, and that way too you know if they're actually breathing it in or not. With cats it's really hard because they are so subtle. Another good thing to know with them is what a good breathing rate is. So if you sit there and watch your cat and you time it for 60 seconds and you count one full breath, so that's one up and one down, they should be breathing about 20 to 30 times per minute. Anything higher is not so great. I mean, anything lower is not so great either. But if your vet ever asks you if they have labored breathing, and you might look at them going, I guess I've never really noticed how my cat breathes before. Me. You don't really realize how much you don't know until you experience something for the first time. But I did look up about how often, and I would check after his asthma attacks, his breathing rate would be about 50. But after a couple days of using the flow vent and making sure that he was kind of in a sterile environment, we quarantined him and made sure we vacuumed a lot and didn't use any harsh chemicals or oils or fragrances so that nothing was agitating him. He got back down to about 30 breaths per minute. So that way I'm able to track it. I keep little notes on my phone so I can show my vet that, his breathing rate has been pretty consistent. So it is time for him to get his Flovent. We thought this would be a really good example for anybody who's interested to see how you give it to him. If you have a cat that is a little tricky, you might want to burrito them. It is also easier with two people. One person can hold the cat, the other one can make sure that this is snug over their nose. But like a lot of people, my husband and I work opposite schedules, so we often have to do this by ourselves. So I have stuck this in the back. This is the Flovent, and then this is the part that goes over the mouth. I'm actually going to, okay, there we go. I want to turn it to make sure I can see the flag so I can see how many breaths he's taken. Something that's smart to do is once you're done with using the fluticasone, if it's been prescribed to you by a doctor, is to go ahead and stick the albuterol if your cat is experiencing episodes, because this way you can quickly just grab it and go. You don't have to be like, oh, I found the AeroKat, but where is the albuterol? I can't find it. Right now we're just keeping this always together because he's been having so many episodes. But now it's time for the fluticasone. So this is helping to clear up his lungs and get them in a better state. He's sleeping. He has no idea what's about to happen. He's not the hugest fan of it, but he has been pretty tolerant of it. All right, buddy, you ready? The first thing you're actually going to do is just shake it. And then do that. All right, you ready? So he gets one pump. Ready? So you make sure that it's in there. His nose is in the tube, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is pretty much his threshold. He can't do any longer. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Something also to do when your cat's experiencing something like this is to make sure they're getting plenty of fluids. So if you're doing dry food, do some wet food so that they're inevitably going to get more fluids. If you haven't, talk to your doctor about the benefits of learning how to give sub-Q fluids. You can keep the bag at home, and if anytime your doctor's like, you know what, it would be a good time for them to get some extra fluids, you can do so without going into the vet. That's what I do. I always have a bag at home, so in case I think my animal's getting dehydrated, I can go ahead and give them some fluids. But always check with your vet before, because there could kind of be some side effects or interactions that they don't really want to happen if they get like kind of an overload of fluids when they're not ready for it. Something else that's really awesome that we have been using since it's been having these episodes is Pretty Litter. It is a kitty litter that actually changes color according to the makeup of their urine. It's really good to kind of keep track of what's going on. His urine has stayed in the normal color range, so we know that as far as whatever Pretty Litter covers, he's healthy. So I think a lot of it's like kidney values and stuff like that, and hydration. And cats will have a lot of issues with kidney problems, so it's good to know that it's just a lung thing and not so much a whole body thing. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Simon, you are our first vlog. How do you feel about that? He's really excited. I don't know if you can tell. Check back in next week on our website, thewagpack.com/blog, and see what other cool things. Isabel has a litter of kittens, which has been really neat. She also makes her own homemade wet dog food. So there's a lot of cool information, especially actually a lot about kittens in between the two of us. So check it out and see if there's anything that interests you. Simon's ready to go eat some dinner, so I think we'll head home. Okay, bye.